What's up, y'all? Your old life is gone, and it's not coming back. I know that's hard to hear, and I've been there, staring at the past like it was some perfect chapter that got ripped away too early. But with time, I've come to realize something. That version of my life wasn't taken from me, it expired. The version of me that fit in that life does not exist anymore, and maybe the same is true for you. And I know it's not an easy thing to accept. Maybe you keep looking back, trying to recreate a version of yourself that felt more certain. A time when things felt simpler, a person you used to be proud of, a season you weren't ready to leave. But if you're watching this right now, it's probably because that version of life doesn't fit anymore. And deep down, you know it. You've changed, you've outgrown people, habits, goals, and versions of yourself that you used to cling to. And the only reason it still hurts is because you keep trying to breathe life back into something that's already expired. But here's the hard truth. You cannot move forward while gripping something that's meant to be left behind. Outgrowing your life feels like a loss, because in a way it is. You lose certain people, you lose certain habits that used to numb you, and you lose an identity that once made you feel safe, even if it wasn't healthy. But here's the catch. Growth never feels like growth at first, it feels like grief. And this is about turning grief into growth. You miss the ease, the routine, the old version of you who didn't carry the self-awareness you do now. But now, you know what peace feels like. Now you've seen what chaos actually costs you. And once you know, once you've tasted something real, you can't go back to pretending. And outgrowing something doesn't always feel like strength. It feels like grief. And nobody really tells you that. You'll start making better choices, setting new boundaries, changing your environment, and it won't feel empowering at first. It'll feel lonely. You'll wonder if you made a mistake. You'll second guess yourself. Why do I miss something I know wasn't good for me? But that's the thing. You're not missing the thing. You're missing the version of you that used to survive in that space. The you who settled. The you who smiled through dysfunction. The you who didn't know any better. And now that you do, you can't unknow it. Growth changes your tastes, even for the past. Let's be real. Most of us don't miss the actual past. We miss the illusion of control it gave us. We miss the story we told ourselves back then. Even if it wasn't healthy, even if it wasn't true, it was familiar. That's why it's so tempting to go back. You tell yourself, maybe it wasn't that bad. Maybe if I just tried harder. Maybe they've changed. But the truth is, you're not meant to go back. You're meant to wake up. The past is seductive because you already survived it. You know how that story ends. The future, that's uncertain. But don't let that fear convince you to stay in a room you've already outgrown. Because every time you choose familiarity over freedom, you abandon the version of you who's trying to evolve. Don't sell yourself short or put yourself in these situations. I personally have experienced this. And over the last year, I've learned to let go of the past quite a bit. Past 2 years actually, but this last year I've really seen the results come from it. And realizing that a lot of my friends back home, I do stay in contact with a handful of them, but there's a lot of people, it'll never be how it used to be. And I've come to accept that. Instead of wishing things were simpler and me being back in those times, I'm just grateful that it happened and it put me into the position I'm in today. And that's the mindset shift that I had to learn over time, was not wishing everything was how it used to be. I'm just grateful that it happened, because life's going to continue to go on whether you like it or not. And the truth is, past me couldn't survive what I do today and how I conduct myself and the things I do for myself. You know you've changed when things you used to tolerate start to drain you. When the conversations you once lived for now feel empty. When you no longer feel the need to explain yourself to people who never really saw you in the first place. And here's the thing, most people won't say out loud, change will cost you your comfort. It'll cost you relationships where you had to dim your light. It'll cost you the image people had of you, the one they liked better when you weren't as aware or grounded. But it'll give yourself not the version you curated, not the one you pretend to be, the real you, the one who's under all the noise, the one who's just now learning how to breathe on their own. You'll notice yourself shifting into that gratitude aspect of looking back and thinking, hey, I'm glad it happened, you know? Made me who I am today. I have the knowledge I have now today because of that. The past is full of knowledge. I see myself evolving into someone new, something unknown, And the truth is also, the unknown is scary. A lot of us don't like the unknown. It's a lot easier to cling on to the past, so I understand. But the unknown is going to be full of things that were better than what you're doing before. I can promise you that. This is a slow process of delayed gratification, and it takes a lot of time. And like I said, it does not feel empowering at first, but it does over time. And then you get that delayed gratification. That's priceless. So here's the part you need to hear clearly. Stop trying to rebuild what broke you. Stop texting people who made you question your worth. Stop going back to environments that required you to betray your peace just to feel accepted. Stop watering dead friendships and waiting for closure you already gave yourself. The old life, it taught you what it needed to teach you, and now it's asking to be released. Every time you reach back, you delay the life that's trying to reach forward. And I promise, this isn't about being cold. It's about being clear. There is no new beginning while you're still rehearsing the past. And real growth requires grief. Not because the past is perfect, but because it was a chapter. And chapters aren't meant to last forever. If you're in that space right now, grieving a life you know you cannot go back to, this is what I want you to do. Start by choosing presence. Not perfection, not pressure, just presence. And number 2, sit with the discomfort. Mourn the version of you that got you here, and then thank them. That version of you got through things that this version of you never has to go through again. And that's something to really be proud of. And then just start small. Build new habits that reflect who you are now. Seek out spaces where your healing feels safe. Get quiet enough to hear your own voice again. These things will compound over time if you just start small. And before you know it, those days stack. It turns from initiative to intuitive. Some habits I would suggest is journaling, going on walks, going to the gym, and eating healthier. You're going to learn a lot about yourself doing these things. I can promise you that. And over time, you can make better decisions regarding your future, your presence, and who's around you. The habits I just listed have completely reshaped my life, my way of thinking, and I'm able to pull myself out of those bad thoughts, bad mindsets if I'm having a bad day. And the days I don't want to show up, I'm still able to pull that strength together. And this is by sticking around good people and building these habits and staying consistent. It was not easy at all, and it's still not easy sometimes, but I appreciate life so much more because of it, and I highly recommend you try this. It helped me come to terms with the past, and again, be grateful for it, and grateful that it happened. I can live in that gratitude, and that takes a lot of weight off your shoulders and gives you a whole new sense of freedom. Be honest with yourself, hold yourself accountable, start these habits. I promise you, you'll see a lot of change over time. Don't let the past continue to define you or hold you back anymore. Just be grateful that it happened, because we're here today and now. This isn't about rushing forward, it's about rebuilding with intention. Not to impress, not to prove, but to finally live in a way that feels like truth. This doesn't make me or you inferior or superior to anyone else. We just stay more present with ourselves and allow ourselves to make better decisions. Growing up hurts, I get it. Your old life is gone, and I know that hurts. But I also know this. What's ahead of you isn't just better, it's lighter, more peaceful, more honest. The weight you're carrying right now, most of it isn't yours anymore. Put it down. You do not need to go back to who you were. You need to become who you're always meant to be. If this spoke something in you, stick around, subscribe, drop a comment about what you're letting go of. Because this channel isn't about chasing validation, it's about building self-respect. You're not going back, you're going forward, and you do not have to do it alone.